talk about the time
Yeah.
that you said to me, give it all away, but you're giving me a chance. So come with me, down your drink, and I'll show you how to dance. But it didn't go down like that, and the pain keeps rushing back. In the morning, you remember you fucked up everything.
Yeah.
Listen, we're at NAMM.
We started? Okay, we're at NAMM.
Anaheim.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
California.
We just like flowed into that.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you're fine.
It's been an experience for us. It's been absolutely amazing. The fact that for us, we didn't know 48 hours before that we were coming to
What?
NAMM. Yeah, we just bought our flights, everything.
You knew about it. What was like the let's just do it? What was the drop the mic moment?
We were having a NIWSPACE meeting, and I was just, like scrolling through Instagram, and NAMM comes up as an ad.
Okay.
I'm like, when we first met, we talked about going to NAMM, and it's on like right now.
Yeah.
I guess we'll go next year.
Oh.
That was the conversation.
Okay. And you're like, why
And
wait?
then,
Somehow,
what is it?
No, somehow we ended up buying. So we booked a hotel and bought plane tickets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Before even getting our NAMM tickets.
Yeah.
And then we go get our NAMM tickets, and then like just 30 minutes later, I just was on the website and I was like, it closed. They closed your ability
That
to get
day.
it past that day. It was all an accident.
So do you have NAMM passes though? How
We
did
do.
you get your NAMM passes?
No, like that midnight, like right before.
Oh, so you didn't even check. You were like, oh, I
No,
should have probably
yeah.
checked the tickets
We
first.
bought
before we
flights
booked
and
the
hotels
hotel.
before we checked, and I just happened to be scrolling through on the last day. As a matter of fact, it wasn't the real last day. It got extended because
of the fires.
So it was
so you're
already
really
cut
lucky.
off. Yeah.
It's meant to be. But actually, I feel like a few other conferences I've been to, that this conference in the same vein, that you could not have a pass and still soak up so much that's going on by
Yeah.
like in the hotel lobbies and on the streets. You
Yeah,
could
that's
kind
true.
of come without officially coming. But the
Yeah.
tickets aren't that expensive.
No, they're not.
It's not like
No.
South by Southwest
Yeah.
or some of those other
Gosh.
conferences, which are,
South by South is like what?
worth it because...
Early
yeah.
bird for South by is like $800, something like that for early bird.
I rocked up to South by Southwest and didn't have a ticket. I bought a ticket. I walked in and physically bought a ticket on the first day.
Baller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping that someone might just give me one. I wasn't sure if I was actually going to be able to afford it. I had my flights and my accommodation.
Yeah.
I was fundraising at the time. And so I was like, well, if I do get enough money, I'm just going to have to do that. But the bonus part is that I didn't really have to buy food or accommodation, food or alcohol or drinks the whole week, because there's so much promo stuff they're giving out.
Oh, yeah.
So all week it's just free food. So I didn't know that. So having to buy my own ticket, it was worth it for the food and the
Jackson,
drinks
you'd
and
have a
stuff.
blast at
Yeah.
South by Southwest.
Looks like we're going.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be so much fun.
It's
and
like
it's
a
local
couple
to you
weeks.
guys. It's not that far away.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a 3-hour drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. it's
I'm
not
sure
bad.
we would like Austin's like the California of Texas.
It is.
I'm sure we'd
It
come
really is.
across some cool connections, but it's not the same. Everyone I feel like there is like just out there for themselves, trying to promote themselves as like a.
As opposed to here.
I don't know.
So I've
opposed to what?
been to
Opposed
South
to
by
here.
like 4 times.
Well, this was our conversation earlier.
Yeah.
Is like artists have the mentality of like they're more likely to have the mentality of like, oh, if you make it, I can't make it. But
Oh, you think?
I feel like that's more the case. I mean, especially in like the hip hop
I'm
and
not
like
saying it.
Okay.
right?
it's like I feel like that's more common of a complex than like producers and engineers. Like, oh, you're an engineer, like let's hang out and collab. And,
Yeah.
And like, you
I
show
want-
me your tricks and tips.
right? Because
and-
if you
yeah.
win, I'll win too. Because I'm your friend now.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
I feel like that's more of a thing because an artist, it's all resting on the world's perception of their art.
Yeah.
So there's a little
Like,
bit more ego.
I'm a big
involved.
believer in not wasting any energy, though, in even, like, if you're even thinking about, oh, if they do well, then that's going to impact me. Well, they're already ahead of you because you're wasting energy even thinking about that.
For
like,
sure.
what a waste of creative energy. Just focus on you and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we met, it was just a conversation about what we did, and then like it was just a synergetic conversation that just went in the right direction. South by Southwest, it was always the elevator pitch and
Oh, yeah.
really
Yeah.
pushing that agenda.
Yeah.
And you
Are
know
you
what I'm saying?
playing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was doing the same thing at South by that I'm doing here. I'm just an artist traveling from Australia. Come and just suss it out.
Yeah.
I'm just checking it out. Someone said I should come, so I came.
Yeah.
No real agenda. other than opportunity and meet cool people and maybe make some cool music or or maybe get into film or something.
Right.
And yeah, it was a little bit weird because everyone's out there pitching and I'm just like, oh yeah, like, hi.
Yeah, I thought that's perfect because you're an actress too. So they have the film section,
They got a film
music,
section.
you know, all of that.
So I got the music badge last time. I'm thinking I might get the film badge next time.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, well, if you have one, you have them all, kind of thing.
It gets you into most things, but I think there are some separate things.
Yeah. I mean, but those things are usually like specific seminars or classes or whatever.
It's not much that separates it. Yeah,
it's not much at all.
Sorry, you've been 3 times though.
Yeah, one time just as whatever, another time as a music director for an Afrobeat artist, Mr. Easy. And then another time I played keyboards for another artist. And then the 4th time, I think, I don't even remember. Everything's all kind of blurry right now. But honestly, I have to say, for me, NAMM is a better experience, has been a better experience than all of South by.
I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I did learn though, on one of the days I was at South by, I decided to wear high heel pumps.
No.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
And then and it was a massive day too. So I went to the expo. Then I went to like this music luncheon with all these execs and like the CEO of Rolling Stones and stuff. And then I got my friends who brought me here, invited me to their Grammy party because I was like traveling by myself. They're like, yeah, just come along, we'll get you a ticket. So I spent like maybe 18 hours in these glittery high heel pumps. And my toes went numb, I swear, for 6 months. I had to go to
pinched
the car.
all the nerves.
I just pushed past, like, as an actress, you have to be able to run in high heels. And, like, this is something that, you know, I've got tough feet. But that was and I pushed through because I'm like, I'm not taking them off. I'm not going to be like that girl who's had too much to drink and walking home with her shoes in her hands. Like, I've got to, you know, like, I'm going to push through the pain.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't realize. So I haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
But
well, on that note,
shoes, sorry, yeah.
this is a very pivotal moment right here. This is the NIWSPACE podcast.
Yes.
And we often forget to introduce it when we start filming because we just start talking. And this is our new friend Rae, who we met here at NAMM.
Yes.
Hi guys, I'm Rae Leigh.
So
L-E-I.
is that your
See,
artist? That's your artist name?
That's Rae Lee's my last name, so I just call me Rae, right?
Oh, I thought you were
But-
joking
No.
at the pool party.
What do you mean?
That you saying your last name was Lee. I thought you just picked a common last name.
Oh no,
Just to
like my
get in-
last name's Lee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Leigh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Rae.
Spelled cool too.
But like my first name's Rae, but a lot of people think Rae Leigh is my first name. And it's all like together. And it's like, no, just Rae.
Yeah.
Like
It's
don't go around calling me Rae Leigh like all the time because that's weird.
A lot of people have like 2 names in the first name, like Mark Daniel, John Mark.
Yeah, Rae Leigh's 2 first names. Don't trust someone with 2 first names. That's what they say.
Yeah. And then what's your podcast name?
So I was going to say the podcast is Songwriter Trysts. And every time I start my podcast, I go, welcome to Songwriter Trysts. Here's our guest. And that's probably, like, and if you listen to my podcast, that'll be, welcome to Songwriter Trysts. Today's special episode is about.
Where's
blah, blah,
Tryst
blah.
from?
No, that's super like audio focused in a good way. Like that gives podcast vibes.
Yeah. But I have been audio only for like many years until recently. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to know about Tryst?
Yeah,
Do
what's
you know
Tryst
what
from?
Tryst means?
I don't know, like a journey or a trick or
Sounds like
something?
kind of
Or
chocolate.
I don't know.
The best answer I've had to that is someone said, is it trust with a New Zealand accent?
Yeah.
No, tryst is a proper English word, but it's very old school. It's got no vowels. It's very cool.
Okay.
But tryst, you might hear it in the newspaper. It's like football player has tryst with waitress in the toilets. It's the intimate connection between 2 lovers.
Okay.
So a songwriter's tryst is the intimate connection that people have between their songwriting, and it's to capture that moment when you're co-writing with someone. If we all met, right, and we sat down, we're like, right, let's write a song, but we've never met.
Right.
We need to like, get to know each other. It's
Yeah.
like it's the, what do you call it? Like it's the foreplay.
Yeah.
It's the foreplay conversation that you have with someone before you write a song. And the metaphor goes that you write a song with someone, and I've been in a few co-writing sessions, I'm not going to name names, where I've left and I'm gone, I am never doing that ever again. Like nice person, we're never going to write together again. And the same thing happens in an intimate situation. Sometimes you go there, you have a good time, but you're like, I'm never doing that again, right?
Yeah.
But you can still create a baby from that situation. You can still have a song that can go into the world and do like amazing things from that one session.
UNT.
Right?
But it could be a really bad baby.
Well, it could be, but you could have an amazing baby.
Yeah.
I think all babies are good babies. Like, let's not judge. But I love babies.
There's some bad kids out there.
But yeah, so it's
I like yours.
that's my
and I love
metaphor
mine.
anyways.
You are
Cheeky play on
great
words.
girl also.
No, I know, but there's just, like some people just like to cause trouble. And bad babies.
I don't mind starting rumors. I think it's just another form of entertainment, and at heart, I'm an entertainer. So, and people are, like, rumors are another thing altogether. But
Rumors can destroy lives.
well, I mean, because I got so fed up with social media, and people constantly asking if I had OnlyFans. Are you on OnlyFans? You get that? People are like, oh, you got OnlyFans?
No, I haven't gotten that.
So I got to the point where I used to do lives. I stopped doing them now, but every now and then I do it. But I used to be like, oh, I'm going to go onto my OnlyFans now and I'll do the next section there. And then I just leave it, hoping that all of the people that are wasting my time asking if I'm on OnlyFans will just waste so much time looking for my non-existent OnlyFans account. It's just like my payback because I was just sick of people asking.
Oh my gosh.
That's actually
That's
awesome.
a bit cruel, isn't it? But
No, it's
No,
good.
it's not.
Look-
It's their fault.
just
Yeah.
stop wasting my time and go look for something that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And they probably get really
Exactly.
frustrated too. Like, where is it? Damn it, I don't want to ask her.
That's funny. That's so messed up though, but I love it.
Yeah, the name
I'm
of your
cruel and
podcast
vindictive,
is
aren't I?
It's cool.
deep, very deep.
Sorry.
Ours is just the first word of his business plus the first word of my business.
Yeah, simple's always good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
I
It
just
makes
knew it
so
had to
much
have the
sense.
word songwriter in there.
Yeah.
'Cause
I
at
love
least that
though.
part's
It's all right.
clear.
It's just, yeah, because, I've written with people, and whenever you don't know them or there's not a part of you that's opening up and being at least somewhat vulnerable, it doesn't really go anywhere. It's just very surface, and it feels like ChatGTP wrote it before even ChatGTP came to be.
But it's hard to be deep with someone you've just met, and not everyone can do that.
Yeah.
And part of my motive behind this was I get to have that conversation with people without having to write with them. So, and then I've actually written some great songs with people that I've released that came about after we'd been on the podcast together.
But isn't that a prerequisite of being a songwriter? You have to be able to bear all. to
No,
some
I
extent?
think anyone can write a song and call themselves a songwriter. I think, that's what happens. It's like anyone can write a book and call themselves an author. No one has to read it. No one has to listen to the song. Once
Right.
you've written it, you're a songwriter. But in the true form of artist, if you want to call yourself an artist, me personally, I think, yes, you have to be willing to be brave and be vulnerable and share all, no matter how uncomfortable it is. And not everyone's going to be ready to do that. Like, it took me till the age of 31 to be able to sing in public.
Oh, wow.
And before that, I was too scared. I sang at church, so I got like my chops on stage and performance, all that sort of stuff. But my original songs and anything I've written, I never thought anyone else would ever hear them. I think deep down I knew, like, I got into modelling and acting because I wanted to get courage enough to be able to do it. But there was a part of me that was like, there is no way in hell I would ever do that, like, it
So
was
what was
too
the
scary.
first time like?
I actually sang for the first time in Nashville at an open mic
No
for a
way.
birthday party.
Wow.
Yeah. And I didn't realize how conservative they are down there. And the song that I sang is a bit of a comedy song, and the tag of the song has the F word in it. And I'm singing the song, and I'm like, yeah, this is going to be fun. And then as I'm singing the song, and I'm like, I'm in Nashville. They're really conservative.
You're in the
There's a
Bible
swear
Belt.
word in this song coming
Yeah.
up. Do I change it? Can I, like, what do I do? Like, while I'm singing and I'm performing on stage,
my
I'm just
gosh,
like,
that's got to be agony.
I've also got this back catalogue like in my brain going, oh, what do I do? And I get to this point where I'm like, I'm just going to have to jump, say it, and like put on the biggest smile I can and hope that they don't hate me for it. And they did. They actually, there's like
Loved
200
it.
people there. They all laughed. And
Oh,
I think the
good.
only reason I got away with it is because I was the Aussie girl. They're like,
Yeah.
you're the Aussie girl. And so, yeah, it was something, it says something like, I'll just give you the tagline, but it was, I fucked your best friend. That's the line. But it's not funny without the rest of the story. But anyway, but that was why I was like, oh, and then I apologized to the people who were running it because they were kind of like, yeah, go on, do it. And they were running the whole event. And then I was like, oh, they're going to hate me for this,
Yeah.
Whoops. Anyway.
Well, good job.
So
And then did that like unlock?
So
your
then
confidence?
I went home from Nashville, and I'm like, screw it, I got to do this. So I spent 6 months, 6 nights a week, going to any open mic I could find within 2 hours of where I lived.
That's
And I
crazy.
just played original songs. And it started with me like sitting down with like a book with paper, like of my songs, and I would go there and I'd hide behind my little book of songs,
Guitar, yeah.
and I'd sing a couple of songs, and then I'd dash out the door. And then towards the end of the 6 months, I knew all my songs off by heart, and I was just playing. And then I started to realize I was getting comfortable because I'd go to the same places, and I knew all the people, and we were becoming a bit chummy. And I was like, well, the purpose of this was to learn which songs I wanted to record, work out what I liked, what I didn't like, what I needed to improve on, all that sort of stuff. But also to actually record and actually start selling tickets to shows and things. And I'm like, well, I can't be doing open mics on Friday and then asking people to spend $35 on a ticket on the Saturday. You can't do that. And I lost a lot of friends from the open mic scene when I stopped doing the open mics because I was so consistent for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just dropped off. But then I got my first gig. It was Easter weekend in the middle of Queensland, so like 12 hours into the desert, like going past Vegas, right? And I got my first gig over Easter weekend, three gigs, 2 on a Saturday and 1 on a Sunday, and then they were going to pay for everything. It was decent money for my first gig. And then COVID happened and everything got shut down. But they paid me a 50% deposit and I never had to give it back. So I still got paid for it. But yeah, so that kind of happened. And then COVID hit and then I started Songwriter Trysts and I got back into acting. So yeah.
So just wanted to stop there for a second. And I've had a bunch of clients in my studio they've become very, very good at recording their stuff in the studio and getting great records done. But they're not performing. And I've encouraged them like, hey, go out there, find open mics, get on stage as often as you can because it influences how you record your music and
it influences how you write as well.
Look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, because like a lot of my original songs were like pretty miserable. And I learned that some songs are just for me and not really meant to be. They're not received well and they're not spreading the right message. I just needed to like process something and I did it through a song.
Right.
But as I've gotten on, like as an entertainer, I don't want to be singing sad song. Like you've got to have some dynamic to your set list and
Yeah.
So I think it influences what you're doing.
Cool because a lot of times artists will be like, man, I'm writing a song. I wonder if people are going to like it or not. I don't know if you don't like it or not. And there's no need to guesswork that much. If you go perform, you'll know. Right?
Yeah, you'll know.
Man.
Yeah.
So get out there and perform.
Actually, I have
Google
songs I've been performing for years that people love that I've never recorded. Because I haven't trusted a producer enough to touch those songs because I've had producers take songs I love and then make them songs I don't love.
Okay, clip this part. clip this part.
Okay, sorry.
Because we're gonna me and Jackson gonna
talk about that.
We're gonna work on that with you.
Okay.
And then if it ends up being something you love, we're gonna come back to this clip.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be super cool.
It's hard because what happened though as well is that I feel rude if I spend all this money and then I spend this money and like I'm the boss, right? If I'm paying you, I'm in charge.
Of course, yeah.
Okay. That's not been my experience as a female and being new to the industry and not necessarily knowing all the tech knowledge. I felt like I'm paying, I go in, but you're telling me what to do. You're telling me what sounds are going to be on there. And then we get to the end of it and I hate it. Or I don't hate it. Like it's still decent quality, but it's not what I wanted.
It's not your vision.
It's not my vision. But then I'm like, I can't be like, I don't like it. Do you know, it feels rude. And I've been in that situation. And that's why I'm like, well, I don't want to give my song to someone and then have to release it. Does that make sense?
We were talking about songwriting, being a songwriter and being open and vulnerable with your co-writers. I often would be in the studio with a client and I would say to them in so many words, hey, don't feel bad about telling me there's something I'm doing sucks right when I'm doing it. Like in the process
do it then, not
it.
later.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I am not going to be shy or hold back if you're not delivering right in the booth or these lines don't don't really come off the lips too well, or I'm going to let you know.
You have to.
Can we agree that we're going to have that kind of relationship during this process? I'll say something along those lines, and then it always helps because you're so right. People will kind of like hold back, whatever. Producer doesn't want to offend who's paying them.
That's the offensive thing. Don't want to be rude. And it does take thick skin, though. It's not something that you just intuitively do. You have to learn that you're not in polite society. Yeah. You're creating art. Mm-hmm. You were going to say?
Yeah. What you're saying is like a symptom of like actually caring about the song being the best that it can be. And a producer is just supposed to add to your vision. Yeah. And just complement that. So a lot of producers are just in it for the money, or they're just in it because
they won't tell
like
you
to
that.
do their thing.
They're never going to tell you, I'm just doing this for the money. And you don't find that out until later when they're rushing you out the door. And you're like, oh, no.
You know what's crazy? I want to bring a very crazy analogy or simile or whatever you want to call it. I was watching, have you guys seen the Jerry Springer documentary?
No.
You know Jerry Springer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So he has a documentary, and I think it's on Netflix, about the history and what happened behind the doors.
Oh.
Jerry Springer.
I thought the whole point of Jerry Springer was everything was kind of out front.
No, it was, but the producers, the people that produced the show, and their lives and how they got the jobs to even work with Jerry Springer, and how like he was a very, very typical type of like talk show, and their ratings were tanking. They were going to like go, get canceled, and they had to do something crazy, and that's how they got producers on that would do crazy things and go to this little triangle that was Alabama, Georgia. This is like area where they got all their guests from. And Jerry Springer is real, guys. Like all those stories were real. They were hyperbolic and they kind of like over exaggerated. They were kind of real. So anyway,
there's some real serious stuff going on in the world. People don't just talk about it over dinner though.
Yeah, but the producers, they were producing, right, the show. They were just trying to bring out what was already there.
Right.
So they would take guests who were like, cheating on each other, whatever the show was, right? And they're like, hey, when you get out there, really be pissed about it. Like, don't hold back. They were doing that, but they were addressing what was already there. I feel like a producer in the studio should be doing the same thing. Bring out what's already there. Don't try to direct it, produce it.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, art is conflict.
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
No.
As an actor, we're taught to embrace conflict. And all film is conflict. If you watch it with that mindset, you'll notice that that's what it is. People going at it. Yeah. And they're not shying away from the conversation. They're not avoiding the conversation. They're not, or if they are, the conflict is internal, and the camera and the art will be like, let's show that conflict.
Right.
But it's all about the conflict, because we live in a world where conflict resolution just doesn't happen. And one of the things that we all get out of watching film, and I'm ruining entertainment for everyone now, but one of the things that we get out of it that we don't realize we're getting out of it is the happy ending and the resolution. And we need resolution in our lives. Like, our body can de-stress when we have resolution. That's why we want to de-stress. We watch a film and we see a bit of conflict happen, but we see the resolution, and it's resolution that doesn't mean we never get it, but we can go for really, really long periods of time without any resolution, and it's not healthy. No. But it should be in music as well.
Yeah.
You can't avoid the conflict and the emotion in the music. You've got to like lean into it. If it's a aggressive lyric or if it's an emotional lyric, like I've cried singing songs plenty of times. What's hard as an entertainer when you're performing live is to take that energy onto a stage in front of real people watching you and cry into and try and sing at the same time.
Yeah, that's what's cool about chord progressions, or like tension and resolution over and over and over again in different fashions. It's just like all about that. And I never thought about it from like the bigger perspective like you're speaking of.
I like that. Sometimes whenever I'm going through stressful things in my life, I'll turn on Netflix.
Yeah.
And then whenever, and when things are clicking or whatever, I feel like we've, Jeff Jackson and I, we've really, really like done really well at NAMM so far.
Yeah.
We haven't turned on the TV.
That's because you met me, let's be honest.
That's true. You got us into the VIP
Yes. Oh my
awesome
gosh.
party. Like we
what I
we
do.
shouldn't have been there.
Just
but
because my
we
last
know
name's
you.
Lee.
Listen, so like I gotta tell this story. So we meet up with you in the hallway a couple hours ago, and
We've run into each other like 5 times today, not on purpose.
That's so
not
crazy.
on purpose. It's
like,
like
God's just like,
thousands of
these
people
guys need
here.
to see each other.
Yeah, and then we ran into each other, and there's this party. It's an exclusive party where everybody had on this
Free booze.
big orange wristbands to get in.
Bright open
then
bar.
Ray goes-
mermaids in the pool.
Ray goes,
Mermaids were cool.
Ray goes, I know, Wayne. Just follow me. Act like you belong.
Do you know how
And
many
then-
times I've done that? Like,
And she's just one foot in front of the other, and we're just like, I'm walking chest up, I'm just like, I see you on the, how you doing? And then I just keep going, and like joke, like it was crazy. We walk into this party, people are like, oh, so what do you do? This songwriter that's worked with like a bunch of crazy people is coming up to me talking like, oh my
Yeah.
God, you work and I'm like,
You're
looking
buzzing.
around like, yo, this is dope, So I learned something from you. I appreciate that.
that's all right.
Yeah. And then Nick, that was the first time you met him?
The other Aussie guy?
Yeah.
When you're international Aussie, we like find each other.
Yeah.
Actually, I
Yeah,
was at the
that's crazy.
Grammy party in Austin, and Andrew Ferris from NIWSPACE was there, and another Rae, who was an actress, was there.
Oh, wow.
And we didn't like, I mean, I know Andrew because he's been on my podcast, but like we kind of weren't together at this party. It was big, like hundreds of people. And we're talking and everyone's like, oh, you've got to meet the other Aussie. And like, and so at one point, the three of us standing there like, yeah, everyone keeps telling us we should talk to each other.
Oh, I guess we should talk.
Yeah, okay, I guess
That's
so. Like,
funny.
how you doing, man?
Yeah. But Nick was the same way with the bar. So the bar literally had like this
Yes.
ocean of people. It was like crazy. You just look at it and you're like, there's not even a point to try. Like there was nothing you could do to get up there. And he's like, all right, you go that way. I'm going to go this way. Just whoever gets there first, we agreed on what drinks to get.
Yeah, sweet.
And I literally, 30 seconds, I turn around and he's got 4 beers.
I reckon
Here
he
you
probably
go.
just
You want
reached
one?
over.
Here you go.
Because he came, I
it
reckon
was-
he would have just been like, yoink, and that, yeah. Because that's what I would have done, Nick. And so I'm
That's
assuming it's probably what
crazy.
you did. Because he had glass and no one else had glass. Everyone was getting theirs dispensed into plastic
That's
cups.
true.
Oh.
Detective
so
Ray's hat
true.
on. He reached over the bar and just took them. Because while someone wasn't looking, obviously.
That's you know what? Sometimes you got to do that in life.
Open bar,
man.
but
But Nick,
even
Nick
the
and I
fact
are
that
the same age, we worked that out. So I'm like, we must have gone to the same like sneaky ass Aussie.
even the
Yeah.
fact that he
Program.
got even the fact that he got in arm's distance from it
Yeah.
was impressive.
Because
by
Jackson wanted
itself.
to go like 20 minutes before he quit. He just like, nah.
yeah, it's like,
I'm
this
like,
is-
there's no way.
You
Look
never
at all
take
these
no
people.
for an answer. It was
That's crazy.
So much you can learn from
No, that's
that.
what exactly what he was saying. Y'all, it's the Aussie way. Y'all just
push in.
push in.
Yeah, maybe. I think a lot of Aussies, it's not necessarily all Aussies. Maybe the adventurous ones, and the adventurous ones are the ones that leave. Like I know people that haven't even left, like not even the state, but like the area I live in.
Yeah.
Like so, and that I think that's everywhere. There's personality types that just they sit put and they stay there
stay,
for
that's
100
it.
years, and then they say goodbye, and that's their life. And then there's the adventurous ones, and we're just like yo, and just go everywhere and anything, and
So
push in.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. You're a songwriter. Do you write for other people, or do you?
I have done, yeah.
Is that something that you feel like you want to make a career of now or later, or
Look, I make money from anything.
right?
So, I mean, like the seminar said the other day, artists want money. It was a groundbreaking seminar. It was
yeah.
a yawn fest. But, no, I mean, I love I want to make a career out of creating art.
Okay.
And whether it's my art and I'm the singer, or whether I get to be the lyricist or the melody person or just the inspiration for the idea, whether I get to be the producer, whether I get to just be the financier, I want to be involved in any way I can in elevating good art.
Yeah.
Like great art. So I've had conversations with people who want me to get involved in like I've done a hip hop collaboration. You have to listen to that because it's hilarious.
Oh, okay.
It's great. I love it.
Okay.
But anyway, but I've said no to some people because I've said, look, I've invested full-time commitment into my art. I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars and then there's all the years of time that I do this full time. This is a professional career for me, and so my name and reputation has to be like at that level.
Yeah.
And so, great, let's work together. But you have to show me the same sort of commitment. And if you're going to go get a guy off Fiverr to do a track for $50 and then record on your iPhone, I'm like, well, I can't. Like, that's going to damage all of the other work I've done. It's not that I don't want you to do well, but you're not ready.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I want you to do it. Go have fun with your mates in the garage, and then, you know, get a guy off Fiverr to mix it, and build up your courage to believe in yourself enough to know that you're worth investing in, and then come back to me.
I like that.
Is that really arrogant?
No,
Absolutely not.
no, it's not. Especially today, where everyone and their great uncle's dog is an artist. That having that quality.
I'm a
is
content creator influencer.
Man, they're going
Gone
to YouTube.
rapper.
They're going to YouTube, buy the package with the microphone and the pop filter and the
I look at every kid on the planet.
$25
All
interface.
3 of my children want to be YouTubers.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Yeah, my son will
it's
grab my
fine.
phone and like, hi everyone, like and subscribe. He doesn't even know what that means. Like and
just like-
subscribe though,
Well,
seriously.
when my kids were really little, they'd come into my bedroom because they'd found a YouTube channel, and they'd come in because they don't have an account. They're like, "Mom, quick, you've got to like and subscribe this guy's channel." And I'd be like, "What the?"
Brainwashed them.
I'm not doing that. Like, but now my YouTube account comes up because they've learned how to do it. The YouTube account comes up with this very interesting children's,
Yeah.
not so children's YouTube channels.
Yeah, but content is such an asset to artists and really anybody.
I
Like
do miss the days of
anybody.
curation, though. You know, like not necessarily gatekeepers, but just like Netflix. I like that I can go on Netflix and I can probably pick just about anything and I'd like it
Right.
because it's been curated. Whereas YouTube, I feel like I waste a lot of time
Yeah.
just trying to
for
find
sure.
the video that actually is going to tell me how to change this light bulb properly. You know, like
Yeah.
No, I mean like the people, like you've got construction workers that are millionaires now because they were just made silly TikToks on the job site.
Yeah.
Like things like that. It's like, this is such a weird world.
yeah.
Yeah,
I watch
So
those
strange.
videos.
Yeah.
I
It's,
do too.
Not because of the construction
and there's
stuff.
a guy named Hub's Life, I think is his name. He is famous and makes, I'm assuming, great money off of, you know, millions and millions of views, just showing his day-to-day life working
Yeah.
a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of all ASMR. Like he always zips his bag. It's all quiet, doesn't say anything, slides his computer in, goes in.
I find that stuff's
quit
really
his job.
creepy, though.
That's funny. He can't quit his job to go be an influencer because his influence is based off of his job.
Can you just ask for a pay rise, or I don't know?
I'm sure
Yeah.
he could. He has the leverage to do it, I'm sure. but-
Yeah.
That's
My
funny.
8-year-old son introduced me to ASMR
Oh,
because
wow.
that was one of the things he wanted to do with a YouTube channel. And when he showed it to me, I was like, "That's creepy. Don't you think it's creepy? It's like
It's really
Yeah.
popular in Asian cultures.
it's pedophilic."
I like doing it with like I did a video, I like got a new audio interface, like unboxing it, like peeling all the stickers off. I did it and then clicking the knobs because like knobs are so important to producers and engineers.
No,
I really did it so I could go back and listen and be like, like a dog, like like leg shaking.
See, I like cuddly teddies and things. So like I'm a sensory person. So maybe that's
yeah.
like it's just like it's a sound sensor.
But then again, like mouth smacking and like the sound of swallowing, it literally drives. I will like it makes me want to murder somebody.
I don't
so
get
like
it.
chewing gum. Not that sound.
I
Every
don't
day
get
on
it.
the way to school and like junior high and stuff, my dad would be chewing nicotine gum, and he's like going after that nicotine
Yeah.
and that
So it's
gum.
a
You know
trigger
what I'm
for you.
saying?
Every piece of
And
nicotine
like
out of it.
Yeah.
I would be so angry just sitting there waiting for that 5-minute car ride to be over because I was already grumpy from being tired, and he's in there like
Yeah.
getting out. He's after that nicotine in there.
So this comes back to before when I said I don't like trigger warnings because anything can be a trigger for anyone. Like lip smacking is a trigger. Like some people don't like their earlobes being touched. Like you can't
Yeah.
trigger warning life. Like
No.
life happens, and if you're triggered, I
No.
actually believe triggers are there
And
to
if you're
tell you about
triggered,
something.
it doesn't. You shouldn't have control over you. Like I sit there and listen to people eat and drink all day, and I just.
Well, being triggered, I believe, is your body telling you that there's something that there's unresolved conflict or unresolved trauma that you need to deal with.
So
and
what
the
if
trigger is your body going, deal with this, please.
Jeff,
What
what
if
was
your
that
trigger is
mental
somebody's-
disorder called?
fingernails on a chalkboard?
But that's a reaction.
Mis-
That's different.
Okay.
Like if someone
Misophonia.
punches you in the face.
Okay, what about
like,
I
that's gonna hurt.
almost chopped Jeff's head off earlier because he started commenting
violent.
on my food. Like, I don't
Okay.
like when people comment on my food that
Why?
I'm about. Because it's just, I don't know, I'm triggered.
You're triggered. So that's probably, we can go into Dr. Rae now.
Let's go.
My theory is, and I'm not qualified therapist, right? I'm just going to like put that out there, but I've done 15 years of therapy.
Okay.
And my theory now, the Rae theory,
Okay.
is that if you are triggered by something, because we live in a very disconnected world, like our bodies and our minds are very disconnected. As
I
artists, one of our biggest jobs is to reconnect everything and to
Yeah.
let it flow. But I believe that a trigger is your body saying there's something here you need to deal with. So it could be if you were willing to do the work, you might be able to go in and do some therapy and actually dig down. And there might be a memory or a moment in your childhood. It might be pre-5, which is where most of our core beliefs come from. There was a moment where something influenced your relationship to food and how other people receive your food.
Well, I don't care because don't talk about my food, okay?
We're gonna get to the bottom of this. We are gonna get to the bottom of this. No,
That's
he said
cool.
it's
Talking
called
about boobs, no, we were talking
misophonia.
about food, weren't we? Not boobs.
Yeah,
right.
we're talking about food.
I'm happy to talk about either.
$75 an hour. I still remember that.
Oh my
Push 'em up.
gosh.
What were you going to say?
Jeff was telling me that that when you hate, it's like a disorder called misophonia when you hate the sound of like humans. It's only humans eating and drinking. But like I like listening to dogs and cats
Oh my
like smack
God.
and make weird noises and stuff.
Have you thought
Yeah, you
much
need
about
therapy.
Maybe I'm a
You're
genius.
the one
I
who
also
needs
saw
therapy.
that. I also
I actually don't know what that
I actually
says about you.
I saw something that said that it's a symptom of being a genius.
They lied to you. Don't believe everything.
Well, a headache
It
can
was
also
Jeff's
be a
laughing
symptom of a
behind the
brain
camera.
tumor,
Come
too,
on.
You know what I'm saying? There's other things involved in it. But Jeff is my doctor, and
Interesting.
I believe everything he tells me.
Is Jeff also your dog or no? Doctor.
Maybe he does not. He does not give me advice on how to use the restroom. I'll tell you.
All right.
Okay. Do you need advice on that? Like we're all potty trained, right?
Are you potty trained?
Yeah. Oh, I want to train my cat to use the toilet.
No, that's not going to happen.
Kitty litter.
They
Yeah.
no, it's a real thing. They do it. They'll use the toilet, dude. It's so simple. You get a piece of cardboard, put it in between the toilet seat, put cat litter on it, and they'll associate it, and then eventually.
Yeah,
you
that
just
sounds like a
pull it
lot of
out.
work. Just change the kitty litter.
Or just don't get a cat.
That's
How
a
about
lot
that?
of work. That is the worst
You just,
thing
no,
ever.
but I think you actually just want to do it so that then you can take a video of it and then that can go viral.
get
It's like I
rich.
trained my cat to
and
piss
then
on
I'll
the
have
toilet.
my song in the background.
Oh, yeah.
It's all,
You got it all
worth
figured
it.
out.
Do you have a song about a cat pissing in a toilet?
I could easily make it
Let's write it now.
with
All right, let's go.
passion too. That would actually be fun. And you sample it like the whole beat is made with the
Meow, 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 meow.
like trickling noises. You can pitch them on the keyboard like mallets and
I've seen
bells.
somebody do that. They sample the cat and then put it on the keyboard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
I'm not into
that conversation. Where
crazy-
did that conversation come from?
I have no idea.
ASMR.
I do-
You went back there.
Oh,
You
yeah,
went back
ASMR.
To the,
Oh.
You didn't. Yeah.
I do have a question for
That's
you.
all right.
So I got to listen to some of your music that's on Spotify, Apple Music, and everywhere music is
Yay.
streamed as Rae Leigh,
Mm-hmm.
right? So check it out. We listened to before we started. We listened to All of Me, right?
Yeah.
Really, really cool song. Well written.
Thank you.
Everything sounds right where it needs to be. Great job, Mr. Producer, whoever you are, or Mrs. Producer, wherever you are. Great performance by you as well.
Can
So,
I?
yeah.
Can I? I don't like saying I wrote that song.
You didn't write it?
Well, I want to say I sang that song.
Oh.
Because what I was doing was I was trying out Logic. I was trying to work out Logic and how to record for the first time. And I was on my computer and I set up this microphone and I was like, I'll just press record and see what happens. And I sang that song.
Wow.
And exactly how you hear it, right? Pretty much like lengthwise, timing wise, everything. And I pressed stop, and it was like this surreal experience. I was like, oh, that was cool. So I put it up on SoundCloud, like a public thing, chucked up on Facebook. I was like, oh, I just did this thing. How cool is that?
Mm-hmm.
A week later, someone sent me the instrumental. And they said, I've done this. And they said, we're going to record your vocals. And then within a month, I had the master. Within 3 months, it was on radio. I'm being interviewed. And they're like, oh, so how did you come up with this idea? And I'm like,
oh, my God.
But it just came from a place. It was a spiritual experience. I love the song. I still love the song. But it...
You know what?
When you say it's timing and all this stuff, I'm like, I don't know where that came from.
No.
It was my body wrote it, you know?
It's crazy you say that because I was listening to it, and usually I can close my eyes and picture that, all right, this probably happened this way or that way. And I stopped trying to do that because I couldn't pinpoint it. That's crazy.
There is no point. That's just how I just started playing 4 chords that I liked, and then I started singing. And it's a verse with like a, what do you call it? A refrain, right? So it's that type of songwriting where you have a verse with a refrain and then verse. And then in the last one, I do something slightly different with the chord structure. So yeah, it wasn't like I was on like a path to do anything outside of just trying to learn how to record stuff.
That's really cool. All right, so when you listen to the song, just try to picture that, you know. I want to listen to it again with that in mind.
I think I still have the original recording on SoundCloud somewhere, so maybe I should send you that and you can hear it and you'll see cool. It's so similar.
And then speaking of which, you gave us the privilege of sending us a private link that we will not be sharing.
So this is a project I've been working on with other songwriters from the Gold Coast.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, got to listen to some of it, and you were talking earlier about some songs don't have to be out and released. I've worked with people, and Jackson has too, where once they start recording a song or writing a song, they feel pressure because they feel like that song has to go through the process and get released or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that holds a lot of songwriters back. You know what I mean?
You got to keep going.
Got to keep going.
So that from that 10 songs that I sent you, and you've only listened to a couple of them, but that's filtered from 400.
What?
Yeah, over the last 12 months, 3 of us got 400 ideas together, and we've just been meeting up like 2-3 times a week, and then going home, I'll do vocals, someone else will do like the mixing, and we've just been like strategically just getting ideas out. So that's why I'm like, these are just demos. They are like, they're just samples and mixes or whatever, and we're experimenting. There's one that's
do
like...
y'all hear that?
Yeah.
400 songs, and that link has 10 songs.
10.
Quit hogging
and that's what
your
someone else went like, the other guy, because I was like, I need this link to have some like demos. He picked those 10. There were some other ones that I would have gone, I probably wouldn't have picked those, and I probably would have picked some of these other ones that aren't on there. But like, so we've got a different idea. We haven't filtered properly, but
songs are infinite, really. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. It's so many. I used to be in that space too, where I feel like every idea, like, oh my God, it's so precious. I can't lose this.
No. Someone said once, it's like songs are like growing a garden of flowers, and you have all these flowers, but when you're releasing an album or you're thinking of like what you're going to record, that's more like making a bouquet from your garden, and you go out and you pick your favorite flowers and you put it all together in a beautiful gift, and you wrap it up, and then you give it to your mom or whatever.
I love that.
That's kind of your album. You don't need to shove the whole garden in someone's face. It's not as nice, you know. You got to do some of the sorting for the listeners, like and especially since you've already released and know what people like and performed, you'll know. It'll come upon you.
That's really, really
You'll know
cool.
what you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how long are you stateside?
I'm here for the Grammys, which is next week.
Okay.
And then that's on the 2nd of February, and I fly out on the 4th, and my visa ends on the 5th. So I gotta scoot out. It's like 2 years.
Be careful, Trump's in the office. If you miss it, you're not going to be able to come back.
I actually don't know many Aussies that are like that desperate to get in, but I mean, you know.
Right, yeah. That's what I was
like,
thinking.
have you been to Australia? It's pretty cool. No, I just, I've had it for 2 years, and I actually booked all my flights and everything, and I was like, oh, I better check my visa's still valid, and I'd booked my flights already, and my visa ends the day after I get back, so.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I'll just apply for a new one.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's how long we're here for. And then if I get a new visa, I'll hopefully come back to South by Southwest this year.
Okay.
And then head to New York for the first time is my plan.
You never been to New York?
I haven't. It's been on my bucket list for a while, and I've been meeting some really cool people from New York here at NAM. So
In New York, I love New York. New York's awesome.
I've heard some good things.
Yeah.
Plus, I have like this piece of jewelry that's like 100 years old that was my great grandmother's that I have to take it to New York to get restored.
Why New York?
Wow.
Because that's where the original jeweler is from. Yeah. So I'm like, well, it's kind of, I've actually written an entire TV pilot about her and her sister from the 1920s. Because she was my great auntie was Australia's first female mechanic, and she owned a business and she trained other women how to be mechanics. And anyway, so I've written a TV pilot about it, and then I have this necklace that my great grandmother owned that I would like to potentially restore and then have in the TV series.
Oh, that's cool.
That
Would be super cool.
Yeah. Long story short, sidebar.
No, that's
You're on
actually
some
really
serious
cool
stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's just that's the vision.
Yeah.
Whether it happens or not, I don't know. But I just make plans and I just walk towards it and hope that it works out. Like,
Well,
I'm going to go to
obviously.
NAM. And then,
You got how many podcast episodes?
over 260 now.
How many
Yeah.
years has that been?
We started in August 2020.
Wow.
I know. It
This
feels
is
like
year
so long
5.
ago.
What's been like your frequency, like your schedule?
So initially I started off with, I think I just released 3 off the bat, straight on day one. Here's 3 episodes, because I was told by someone that that's what you do when you're releasing a podcast. And then I was doing 2 a week for a while, and then I had a few weeks because I had so many submissions where we did like 1 each day for 5 days. So like we'd do 5 a week, just in the beginning, because it just kind of took off. It was like slightly before everyone started podcasting,
Right.
but everyone wanted to be on the podcast. And I was having terrible issues with boundaries and saying no to people. So, but I wanted to do it, and it was COVID. I had all this spare time on my hands, so I was releasing a lot. And then we dropped back to just 2 a week again, and then I went to 1 a week. And then probably last year I had some health issues. I had some surgery and stuff, so I've had like a few spaces where there's been like school holidays I took off, and and I've also been more selective around like the people that I've invested my time in, because I had some people who've come on who they're like promoting this whole brand and persona, and then like the next day they've quit music, or I don't know, they've changed what they're doing, and so like the podcast isn't relevant, or like their name's different now. And it's like, look, I invested like 5-6 hours of my time trying to help you, promote you, and you're just going to quit? Like, why? So I'm being a bit more selective about where I spend my time and energy.
That's good.
Yeah.
So thank you for spending time with us.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love you guys.
Oh, I love you too. Question for
Okay,
you.
go.
Who's the worst experience you ever had?
I cannot say that.
Okay.
No, just
On
okay.
here, I can't do it. Sorry.
Okay.
I'll tell you privately, but I can't.
Okay.
That bad?
Was it really bad though?
Oh, it was terrible.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And look, if you're one of those few people who has listened to every single episode of my podcast,
Probably would have pointed
you probably know.
Like
You'll intuitively know.
it was
You'll hear it in my voice.
It was like aggressively bad or just boring and weird.
Jackson, we gotta go
No,
listen to
but
every episode. We have to
okay.
find it.
So there was this one kid. You're going to listen to all of them and be like, do you think this is the one? No, but there was this one awesome kid, 15-year-old from the UK, and he's won all these awards, and he's got this killer voice and these great songs. And I'm interviewing him, I'm asking these questions, and I'm like, I think I'm pretty good at getting like people to talk. And he's giving me like, yes, nah,
Oh.
no, like just one word answers. And I tried, he's like a little bit out, and I was like, wow. I said, that was the worst podcast I'd ever done. And I have this way that people can sponsor me. It's called Buy Me a Coffee. So it's a way that people can kind of just help like fund the podcast and get involved, or if they really want to come on the show, they can come on the show via that medium. So anyway, so his mum, after the podcast came out, went on there and bought me like $50 worth of coffees, because she's like, that's the most I've ever heard my son speak.
No way.
And I was like, it just made me feel so much better, because I was like, oh, maybe like I did do a good job, and he just really doesn't talk at
Yeah.
all. And one of his songs was called don't talk or don't have to speak or something like that. So,
That's crazy.
nothing to say, I think it was.
He told everybody that you weren't listening.
I don't want to talk about it. I think that's what it was called. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And then we're trying to do a podcast and talk about it. He's like,
I don't want to talk about it. He told you. I mean, come on. What other hints do you need?
She was so nice. Yeah, she sent me this like massive long message and was like, oh my gosh, like I've learned more from this podcast you did with my son than I can get from at the kitchen table.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Should we cut any of that information out?
About him?
Uh-huh.
I mean, if he listened to it, I'm sure he'll know that I think it was just a 15-year-old boy and I actually really love his music, so that's fine.
Okay. Dope. And I'm sure anybody would understand. Yes.
What about your favorite?
14, 15-year-old boys, yeah.
What about your absolute favorite episode?
Oh, that's also a really hard one because I've had so many people
Really
that
good
I've
ones.
had really great conversations with so many people. I've cried. I literally had one episode, actually, it was a Christmas episode with an awesome American chick, and her name eludes me, so if I can get back to her, I will. But she does like these massive Christmas concerts, and she's a rock star. And she's telling me this story about this song that she's promoting. That's why she's on the podcast. And she says this one thing about how she's like doesn't talk to her sister anymore. And I haven't talked to my sister in 3 years. And my voice broke. You can hear it. And I just started bawling. And there was like this whole like silent bit that I just had to cut out because it was audio only. People would just think that the podcast had broken. But we were on Zoom, and so she was lovely, and I just had to like edit it in so that there wasn't that massive pause. But what her story just related to my story at the time, and it was Christmas, and I think it was probably like the first Christmas where the family had been broken, and so it was like really raw. But like I've had some really deep emotional conversations about stuff, and then again, I don't like say I think it's a bad episode. I'll just still put it up there because, you don't always get on with everyone. Like, we've all got different personalities. So even though it might not be like my cup of tea, I'll chuck it up there and I always do the best I can to make people sound good, look good, promote them as best I can.
Yeah.
And then it's up to the listener.
Yeah, and when people are bought into a podcast, they're most likely, like, there's podcasts I really enjoy where I always listen to every single episode. There's been some bad ones, but I'm there for them and their unique quirkiness and
you're
stuff
part of the
like that.
community, so
Right.
Yeah.
Rain or shine, right?
Yeah, like you have that day where like, oh, that was a really good episode.
Yep.
But that doesn't make the next one
Greg,
bad.
if Greg's listening, he'll probably listen to this. He's listened to every single one of my episodes as far as I know. And he emails me and he gives me notes. He questions some of the facts. He fact checks some of the things
Greg,
I say.
is it Greg? Hey,
yeah.
Greg, we love you, man.
Yeah. No,
That's pretty cool.
He now has his own podcast. And he even reached out to a local magazine recently because they were promoting another local podcast that just started. And he was like, oh, just so you know, I told them because we're here. And he's like, just so that you know that there's actually other local podcasts.
We'll get Greg's podcast and we'll link it in this episode.
Yeah, but he's an artist. But yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Very cool.
Is there anything else?
Is there anything else,
Go on.
Jackson? What are we talking about?
What advice do you have for us
Advice for you.
Yes.
growing our podcast,
Growing?
making something out of this?
Yes.
Like, you want to make money out of it?
Yeah.
I'm the wrong person to ask. Okay.
That'd be cool.
Be authentic, be genuine, and ask, like,
I guess with
Be good to
growth
people,
comes
really.
money
Yeah.
as a side
well,
effect.
I'm still waiting for that. But, however, I will tell you the only reason I became a member of the Recording Academy was through people I interviewed, became friends with, went to South by Southwest. The only reason I'm here is not because of my music. It's because of the podcast. It's because I've met people and I've lifted them up, and a rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah.
And it goes against what you were saying earlier about that competitive thing. I don't have a competitive nature. I want you to succeed.
Yeah.
And I want to succeed. And
Right.
and if I succeed, I want to lift you up. And I like to think that everyone else will do the same. Obviously, not everyone will. And that's okay.
They'll weed
But,
themselves out.
well, yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And I've been around a little bit longer, like not as long as you, but I'm pretty close. Pretty close. I think when you've been around long enough, you start to realize that everyone gets what's coming to them.
Yeah.
And you do not have to go out of your way to make people get what's coming to them. Because then you're just going to dig yourself a hole, right?
Yeah.
Like, you let it go, forgive, the forgiveness is not for them, it's for you.
For good or for bad, actually. They're going to get what's coming to them. Absolutely.
Yeah. And like we all like, it doesn't matter how old you are, we all go on ego trips. You know, I've seen people who have like won awards and they just go in this high and they're like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting for this my whole life. And you want to be happy for them in that moment of success. And then there's going to be the real lows, and that's a real part of being a creative. And if you don't know that and you're watching everyone else on social going like, oh, look, I'm on a red carpet here and I'm getting this award here and I'm playing this show here. It's like, but they're not showing you the moments that they're crying and thinking about suicide on the kitchen floor.
Yeah.
Right? That's not on social media, and that's real stuff.
Yeah.
But that is the genuine roller coaster of being a creative. And because it's not out there, all the highlights, all the other creators who are in the low moments, they're seeing the highlights. If you're in the low moments, get off social media, like right now.
Really?
Because it's only going to make it worse for you. Yeah, comparison.
Is the thief of joy.
It is. Yeah.
Man.
That's so true.
It is.
There's always someone.
Now I'm Preacher Rae. Give me an amen.
Preacher Rae. Amen. Where's my organ?
There's always
Dr.
someone
Rae,
better than
Preacher
you.
Rae.
No matter who you are, there's someone better than you.
I don't believe in that.
Huh?
I just think
Better than you on like a tangible metric.
But
like
whose metric?
that's what like you are. You're the one with the measuring stick.
Yeah, but
Well, we're not supposed to be doing that.
no one can ever be you or be better than you. The only time
Right.
that's going to matter is when you're trying to be something that you're not.
Yeah.
Right, but in those low moments and you see somebody, somebody that kind of like almost like looks kind of like what your vision looks like. Like that's hard.
Yeah.
That is comparison.
Look, on the surface, right? I've modeled, I've acted, I have this face. Some people tell me it's good for TV. It's great, it's got me money. But like, I look like this for whatever purpose God gave me. I have the voice I have for whatever the purpose is that God gave me. And on the surface, I get judged all the time. How hard could your life be? Everyone just gives you everything. And that surface stuff, that's got nothing to do with me.
Right.
That is whatever their projection is because of their triggers and whatever's going on for those people.
Right.
But what they don't know and what they may never know, even though as an artist, I want to put it out there because I think it's important to show inspiration, resilience and all that sort of stuff, is that everyone, no matter what they look like, suffers on some degree or level. And my worst day may be someone else's best day, but it doesn't actually make it better or worse. It doesn't make them better than me.
Right.
I'm still just me.
To make. First of all, I love where Jackson went with it, because no matter what we said just a few moments before, people were still thinking that way. And they're still going to think that way after this conversation.
Yeah.
But we hope this helps, right?
Growth.
I've been raised most of my life in Dallas. Born in Nigeria, moved to Dallas when I was 12. Been in Dallas ever since. And Dallas does have a really, really, really strong music scene as far as like musicianship. We're in the Bible Belt, right? You have the Potter's House, T.D. Jakes Church. You have University of North Texas, which is the premier jazz school in North America. People see like Berkeley, they see Juilliard, and then UNT when it comes to jazz, right?
Yep.
So there's a lot of like really, really good musicianship in Dallas. And I was in that scene as a musician, as a keyboard player. Now, I would compare myself to a lot of musicians. Yeah. People like, rest in peace, Sean Martin. Rest in peace to Justice as well. He was Janet Jackson's MD.
Wow.
And keyboard player.
Yeah.
Amazing. And there's so many other musicians that I have their phone numbers where like we're in the same community. And I would kind of like be timid and hold myself back and all these kind of things because I didn't feel like I was as good as them.
Like worthy.
Yeah. And it affected the way that I approached music for a long time.
It's fear.
And yes.
Fear of not being good enough.
Yes. And right when I was getting through that was when I met Jackson.
Aww.
And if I was still in that space, Jackson would have come over the first time we met. And Jack, I promise you, the conversation we had wouldn't have gone down that route.
Really?
You wouldn't have wanted to ask me because my attitude and my persona would have been like, I'm not trying to do that.
So what changed for you though?
I don't know. I think some of it was God. I'm a Christian. So
Yeah.
Some of it was God.
My parents are pastors.
PK right here too.
Yeah, PK. Woo.
Yeah. Maybe that's why we keep running to
Maybe.
each other.
we think the same.
Yeah. But then there was a lot of things that happened that made me kind of face myself, and it was either go deep into the dark or come out of it.
Yeah.
And praying about it and just I don't want to get to all this. It's
okay.
really deep, but
If God wants you to face something, though, He'll make you face it,
and
you can't get away from it.
And I did.
Yeah.
And it kind of got me here, and then full circle now to where like we've known each other for 9 months. And
Wow.
we're in NAM.
You got a podcast.
Yeah, we have a podcast.
This is your baby, 9-month baby.
Over 2,000 subscribers right now.
Congratulations.
And people are stopping us because they recognize us.
That's so awesome.
We just met 9 months ago. You only have enough time to make a baby in that time, and that's it. And
you have made a baby, so.
I was actually.
And now I'm here to make it a throuple. That's great.
So I'm hearing, I'm just listening, just talking, thinking about this whole conversation, and I think it's just so powerful. That fear of failure. Oh my gosh, I've talked to you about this before. How like, we would pray in church like, we will not fail in Jesus' name. We will not fail in, you know what I mean? But then what the heck does that mean?
Yep.
And
Yep.
all of that tied into the
To me, that would make me even more scared.
right, bro.
Yeah, because it's like you're not allowed to fail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what I grew up
I
in.
used to think that if you forgave, that everything would get better. Like if you could just forgive, then you can move on. And they preach that at the summer school camps that I would go to, like these youth camps that I used to go to. And I actually started to hate myself, thinking that I wasn't a good enough Christian because I wasn't able to forgive because the pain of what I was forgiving was still there. And what I've learned now going through like trials and so it took me going to trial, seeing the perpetrator walk into the room and almost like God saying, see, there is no anger. I was not angry towards him. He needed help and I needed to heal. And what I felt like they didn't really teach at those youth camps was that forgiveness is just the first step to being able to heal from the trauma, but you got to let go and you got to forgive. But then you still got to deal with the issue, right? The forgiveness, say you cut your leg, the forgiveness is just like cleaning it. But you still got to like stitch it up. You got to patch it. You got to change the patches. You got to keep an eye on it. You got to get it checked up. And that can take 15 years. And it can take a lifetime. And there'll be a scar.
Yeah.
But your scars are tough.
Yeah.
Scars toughen us up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the body does.
That's amazing. That's really cool.
Yeah. And
Thank you for sharing. That's really
the
vulnerable
body
of
and
you.
the mind are supposed to be connected.
Oh, they so are.
And there's scars in the mind and the soul. And musicians connect the body and the mind. That's it.
I love that.
No, I was just thinking, it's just all full circle to what you were saying earlier about how it's our job to reconnect the body and the mind.
I did like a whole bunch of clinical stuff. Like I did like in hospital stays, and I did psychology and psychiatry and antidepressants and stuff. And I got to a point, so I was catatonic. Like I was at a point after I had my third child where my psychiatrist wanted me to do that electrical tapping, zapping thing. And like I have a science degree, and I thought, I researched it, and it didn't feel right. And I couldn't find any evidence that it was going to be the right thing for me. And so my psychiatrist fired me because I didn't trust her after 2 years of treatment. And I actually went into like holistic therapies, and I went into somatic therapy, embodiment, and that was actually where I learned to connect to my body. And I realized that I'm a singer and that I have to create. And so like this is not something that I'm just choosing to do. It's who I am, and I have to do it. Like I just have to.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just had another epiphany about how, Spotify, there's all these reports about, oh my God, there's 500,000 songs that are getting released every day. It's cutthroat. The industry is crazy. But
only like 1% of those even get listened to?
Yeah.
Something like 90% of those get listened to less than 10 times. Do you know what that means? the people recording and releasing most of that music, they're not even listening to their own music.
Yeah, we talked about
Like
that.
they're not even listening to their own crap. Why put it out there? Seriously, it's just mud.
But you know what? Maybe it's the fact that they're trying to heal off of it.
Maybe
just trying to let it out.
And they don't realize that they don't have to put it on Spotify. Just make it, put it in your diary on like a USB or something.
Yeah.
Like, burn it onto a CD and then burn the CD.
Oh man, that is savage.
But then there's a whole world. There's a whole world of people who like heal and get that expression from listening to music. So like maybe once you've like harbored your baby of a song and it's like kind of helped heal you up, maybe they're just like, I'll just set it on that shelf and walk away. Maybe someone will walk by.
And there are stories of like...
Granted, most of them are BandLab songs about, I got a fast car and some money.
Yeah, or it's like AI. Some kids put something on AI and thinks it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like,
this AI thing though, ugh.
You exhausted by it already?
I'm already tired. But,
really?
Oh my gosh, but hey, it's here to stay.
No, every day I use AI.
Me too. Absolutely.
Like, it's like I couldn't.
If you don't, you're falling behind.
I couldn't find them earlier at NAMM, and they're like, "We're by the Waves booth," and I couldn't find a map or anything. So I just asked ChatGPT, "Where's the Waves booth? NAMM 2025. How do I get there?" And it showed me how to get
Seriously,
there.
I'm gonna try that tomorrow. I'm gonna use that tomorrow.
I'm serious. Like, if the only thing I go on Google for now is maps, trying to go somewhere.
Google Maps. Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I Google searched something like, oh, I'm trying to look for something.
Google search never gives me what, like, I actually was starting to believe that I've just gotten bad at Google searching, but like, it doesn't give me what I'm looking for.
ChatGPT is the best.
It's brilliant.
SEO.
One of the classes we went to here, I mean, this is like a really dumbed down version of what she was saying, but she was adding in another AI like personality into ChatGPT, and so it would start tasks in like have a conversation with another AI, and they'll work together to solve the problem. So they'll start new tasks, and they're over there working on her business. Computer.
It's crazy.
Yeah, right. That's
We'll send you a link for that.
Yeah, we got her toolkit for free, which you have to pay for. So
but there was also another session that I went to where they talked about AI and how on websites and things like that for content, that because of the way AI is set up, even though it's so expansive, it's still in a box. And there are other programs now, especially Google, that are out there scanning websites and scanning content. And if it is heavily AI generated, they know what to look for, and they will actually kind of start blacklisting you. And they were kind of warning, saying, hey guys, as much as you think it's cool to blog something that you've just chucked into ChatGPT and put on your website, it could be damaging to your website as well and your SEO and how it comes up in ChatGPT.
That's interesting.
I'm not sure which one that was. It's one of the NAMM sessions I went to. I've been to a lot now.
Really? That dang. Goodness.
Yeah.
Like you should always, no matter what, like ChatGPT, if it spits out like a long thing, you should go in there and like make it your own.
Oh yeah.
Like for your own pride at least.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We had like someone go into the back of us in a car accident like a few months ago, rid off our whole car. And we used ChatGPT to work out whether we needed to use a lawyer and how much we should be expecting for different claims and how do we do it. And it's like having like legal advice, but not proper legal advice on hand.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? It's so
I have
good.
it write my like beat licensing contracts.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I actually literally used it for a film contract like the day I left for here.
That's what
for
I
a sync.
It's plenty.
I have a
so good.
an entertainment lawyer,
Yeah.
and I love her to death. She's the latte lawyer. She's out of Florida. She's awesome, but for just getting something off the ground, something that's like very specific to someone, I'll describe the situation and I'll feed it the Word document of my current template, and then I'll make it like come up with something, and then I still tweak it. You know, that's how you do it.
But it comes up for me. It comes up for things that I hadn't thought about in the contract that needed to be there as well. And then I did go a step further, and I got it reviewed by an agent who's got a lawyer and stuff. So like, I still did it, and I saved money by doing it myself on ChatGPT. But it was reviewed, amendments were sent, and then I made the amendments in ChatGPT, and then I got it sent off.
That's awesome, man. We could be here all night. This has been an awesome conversation.
Say that part too.
Again, how long have we been going?
So we're gonna do another one like once you've done something, and you show me whether you, like, you're not going to make me hate my song.
No.
Yeah.
But then we're going to communication.
I'll show you one of the songs that I love that I'm scared to produce because I don't want to hate
You don't wanna
it.
mess it
I don't
up.
want to hate it. I want to love it still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, hey, I'm going to practice what I preach. If you hate it, tell us you hate it. We're going to scratch it and get back at it again.
Okay.
No,
you see me do that.
No, he's like
You may hate the song though. I'll be like, I love it. You'll be like, oh, that's shit. I'm not working on
You
that.
see me do that because Jackson's told me, right?
Yeah.
He was like, how do you do that? Like, how do you keep working?
No,
on
like days and weeks on end, like starting from scratch over and over and
I've
over.
started
and
songs over and
How do you
over
come
from
at that with
scratch.
like creative perspective? each
Yeah,
time?
but because I do have a lot of songs, what might also be a good experience or good idea is that you actually tell me a bit more about the stuff that you like to do, because I have got a lot
It
of
doesn't
stuff
matter.
that's
Man,
not been
listen,
done. But yeah,
like the record that I did was like cinematic, African gospel thing going on, right?
Okay.
And then
Just a
there's that
huge track.
Yeah, huge. I mean, chamber strings, you name it. But then I've also done like I said, Afrobeat. I've done
Country.
like stuff for that's like very syncable and like very percussive and fun, quirky. Yeah, we do it all. Yeah.
let's have some fun.
Yeah. Looking
This was
forward to
fun.
it.
Yeah, thank you
This is
so
good.
much.
What time is it? It's
Probably-
12:15. Like it's midnight, guys.
Yeah,
We've been here that long.
It's midnight.
Yesterday.
It's
Oh
we started
my
yesterday.
gosh.
That's kind
We
of cool.
started yesterday. We actually did a podcast into the next day.
Yep.
Oh my god!
Well, this is
That
really,
might be
really
like
cool.
a world record. I don't know.
I know. A 2-day podcast episode.
It just
A 2-day episode.
Yeah.
it just hit me.
Yeah, you're
Tired now.
tired, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
This
awesome.
one's crazy long.
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
guys.
thank you.
Look, if
Make
you want
sure
to put it in
check
the
out all
bin
our
because it's
stuff.
like way too
Yeah.
long.
Check out Rae
out
Leigh
all of
on
her
all streaming
stuff.
platforms and some new music coming out. with-
Between the three of us,
between the
yeah,
three
we're
of
going to do
us.
something.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
sounds super fun.
We've run into each other that many times today.
Yeah, it's
Without
like-
planning, it's like we have to.
We have to at this
Yeah.
point.
no, the
Because
qual.
NAM is huge. Like
It is.
I know a few other people that I haven't seen at all.
I know, right?
You've also got the big white shirts on, and everyone's wearing black. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It feels. So, we walk out in not those shirts. I was like, oh my ego's back.
I could be me.
It was an awesome.
This is my
though.
third costume change for the day. Actually, I think I just
Really?
couldn't figure out what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Well, looks dope.
Thanks.
Like the leather.
Well, I think I actually went from like I went more and more black as the day went on. I think being in and around NAM people, I was like, I got to get in more with these people and be black.
Yeah.
That's crazy. When we first run into you, that seemed like it was yesterday.
I know. Was it yesterday? No.
No,
This morning.
it was the kickoff party for NAM.
No, I'm talking about this morning when we ran into you.
Oh yeah, right. This,
Today.
like by the Melbourne tent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds so long
I
ago.
felt like the people at that tent were avoiding me. I just wanted to find out if they were from the Melbourne, Melbourne.
Oh, were they?
But
Did
like,
you find out?
no, I don't know. Because every time I kind of went to talk to them, they'd kind of like look like they, and they'd go talk to someone else. So I don't know. Like maybe like some.
I'll Google them. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
took a
telling.
picture. I was like, I'll Google it. I'll ChatGPT.
There you go. I wonder if you could use ChatGPT to find like the go-to contact information for companies like that. Surely, like who's the best person I could contact? It's got to be out there.
Marketing, like development stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that.
yeah.
Don't
It's
steal
probably not
that.
the
I got to do it first.
Yeah, cut it off.
Trademark.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.